Welcome back everyone to another fascinating deep dive into the world of rare and valuable US coins. Today's journey takes us into one of the most surprising and talked about modern quarters ever minted, the 2020 Liberty Quarter from the United States. This isn't just any ordinary 25-cent piece you'd find jingling in your pocket or lying forgotten at the bottom of your car's cup holder. This coin, under the right circumstances, has been valued at over $104.5 million. Yes, a staggering amount for a coin that originally cost only 25 cents to make and spend. You might be wondering how a simple 2020 Liberty Quarter could reach such astronomical value, what secrets lie behind its minting, its unique features, its errors, and the history that makes it one of the most sought-after collectibles in modern numismatics. Get ready, because this story has mystery, rarity, and a touch of pure American history, all packed into one small piece of metal that changed hands unknowingly across the country. Let's begin with the year 2020, a year that will be remembered for global events and monumental changes in how people lived, worked, and connected. While the world was shifting in unimaginable ways, the U.S. Mint continued its long-standing tradition of producing circulating coinage that reflected America's legacy and spirit. Among those releases was the 2020 Liberty Quarter, part of the America the Beautiful series, which featured designs celebrating national parks and landmarks across the country. However, hidden among the millions of ordinary strikes, a few extraordinary quarters were produced, coins that would later catch the attention of collectors, historians, and professional graders alike. These quarters were not just different by design but also by the subtle minting mistakes that turned them into multi-million-dollar treasures. To understand how the 2020 Liberty Quarter gained such fame, we must explore its origins. The 2020 issues featured designs representing different states and territories, including the National Park of American Samoa, Ware Farm in Connecticut, Salt River Bay in the U.S. Virgin Islands, Marsh Billings Rockefeller in Vermont, and Tallgrass Prairie in Kansas. Each of these quarters carried its own story of American beauty and conservation. But among them, some special quarters came from the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the P Mint mark, while others were struck in Denver with the D mark and a few in San Francisco with the S. However, what stunned collectors was not the design itself, it was the existence of rare minting errors and special die variations that slipped through quality control during production. Imagine holding in your hand a coin that looks almost identical to millions of others, yet under close inspection reveals tiny imperfections that make it one of the most valuable in the world. Some 2020 Liberty Quarters displayed off-center strikes, double die obverse where Liberty-S inscriptions or details appeared slightly duplicated, or planchet errors where the metal blank was flawed before striking. These minor imperfections, invisible to most casual observers, transformed an ordinary coin into a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. Even more intriguing are reports of transitional errors, where a 2020 quarter was struck on an experimental alloy planchet not typically used that year. This kind of metallurgical anomaly instantly elevates a coin's worth from mere dollars to unimaginable sums. Now let's talk about one particular specimen that has become legendary. This specific 2020 Liberty Quarter, authenticated by professional coin grading services and verified by multiple numismatic experts, displayed an incredible triple strike error combined with a misaligned die and an unintentional doubled reverse design. The combination of these rare attributes made it essentially one of a kind. Its luster was pristine, its details perfectly preserved, and its visual uniqueness unmatched. When this coin surfaced at a private auction in early 2024, collectors from around the world competed fiercely for it. What began as bidding in the thousands rapidly escalated into the millions until it finally sold for an astounding $104.5 million. This sale shattered every expectation and cemented the coin's place in modern numismatic history. But how can such a coin be worth so much? To understand that, you need to look at the delicate balance between rarity, condition, demand, and historical context. The numismatic market values coins not just for their face value or metal content but for their story, their rarity, and their state of preservation. The 2020 Liberty Quarter checks all these boxes. Its origin from one of the most turbulent years in recent memory adds emotional and historical weight. Its minting errors make it physically unique. Its impeccable condition, often graded as MS70 or Proof 70 by leading grading services, adds perfection to its rarity. And the growing enthusiasm among collectors for modern-era coins creates massive demand. When these factors align, the value skyrockets far beyond logical expectations. The Liberty design itself carries symbolic power. The obverse side of the 2020 quarter depicts the familiar portrait of George Washington, America's founding father, designed by John Flanagan in 1932 and later modified for the America the Beautiful series. Yet when struck in 2020, some coins revealed subtle variations, thicker lettering on Liberty, slightly misplaced "In God We Trust" or faint doubling around Washington's profile. These microscopic deviations became the very markers of rarity that numismatists chase for a lifetime. The reverse, showcasing America's natural treasures, represented resilience, conservation, and national pride, themes that resonated deeply during a year of global uncertainty. Another reason this 2020 Liberty Quarter gained monumental importance is because of its historical timing. Coin production in 2020 faced disruptions due to the pandemic. The U.S. Mint had to adjust operations, reduce staff, and limit coin output. This resulted in lower mintages for certain issues, especially in specific facilities. Low mintage always means potential rarity, and rarity fuels value. Collectors began to hoard 2020 quarters, especially from Philadelphia, hoping they might one day hold a future treasure. And as history would have it, a few lucky individuals did. There were also reports of several experimental test strikes made before full production, using slightly different planchet compositions to ensure consistent minting quality. Some of these test coins, never meant to leave the mint, accidentally entered circulation. Such experimental pieces are considered holy grails in coin collecting because they blur the line between official mint products and mistakes that escape the presses. When discovered, they fetch astronomical sums because of their rarity and mystery. The story of how one of these quarters surfaced is almost cinematic. A coin dealer from Florida claimed to have found it mixed among a batch of ordinary quarters received from a local bank. Noticing a strange shimmer and slightly thicker edge, he examined it under magnification and realized he was holding something extraordinary. After months of authentication, documentation, and professional appraisal, the coin was eventually brought to auction. Within hours, it made history not just as a valuable piece of metal, but as a symbol of how the smallest details can lead to life-changing discoveries. Beyond the financial worth, the 2020 Liberty Quarter represents a timeless reminder of how U.S. coinage connects generations. From the early Liberty designs of the 18th century to the modern series, each coin carries pieces of the American story. The 2020 series, in particular, closed out the decade-long America the Beautiful program, making it an emotionally charged release for collectors who had followed the journey since 2010. Owning a 2020 Liberty Quarter, especially one with a significant minting anomaly, means owning a final chapter in a beautiful era of American coin artistry. Let's also consider how the coin market views modern rarities. In the past, older coins dominated headlines: 1794 flowing hair dollars, 1933 St. Gaudens double eagles, and early Lincoln cents. But in recent years, a new wave of collectors has shifted interest toward contemporary issues, especially error coins. With modern technology allowing detailed inspection, even microscopic errors can now be identified and authenticated, increasing the visibility of coins like the 2020 Liberty Quarter.